The world had always been loud, full of opinions, expectations, rules written by people who feared stepping beyond them. But Fazza, he was never made for that noise. He was never built to follow footsteps already carved into the sand. While others walked carefully, measuring each step against society's approval, Fazza moved differently. He walked like someone who trusted the unknown more than the familiar. From a young age, there was something unexplainable about him. Not arrogance, not rebellion for the sake of rebellion, something deeper. A quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need validation. While others chased trends, Fazza observed them, understood them, and then chose a completely different path. Not because he wanted to be different, but because he couldn't pretend to be the same. People often misunderstood him. They thought he was distant. They thought he didn't care. But the truth was, Fazza cared more than most, just not about the things that trapped everyone else. He didn't care about fitting in. He didn't care about being accepted by people who hadn't even accepted themselves. What he cared about was creating something real. The desert became his first teacher. While others saw emptiness, Fazza saw possibility. Endless horizons, untouched paths, silence that spoke louder than any crowded city ever could. He would ride alone for hours, letting the wind erase his footprints behind him. Not because he was lost, but because he didn't want to be followed. In that silence, he found clarity. He realized something most people never do: following is easy. Creating is lonely. Following gives you approval. Creating gives you purpose. And Fazza chose purpose, every single time. There were moments when the world tried to pull him back. Moments when expectations grew louder than his own voice. Be like this. Do it this way. This is how it's always been done. But Fazza never argued. He never wasted energy proving others wrong. He simply did things his way. And slowly, people started noticing. Not because he demanded attention, but because originality always stands out in a world full of copies. He didn't chase fame. Fame followed him. He didn't seek admiration. Respect found him. Because there's something powerful about a person who doesn't need anything from the world, yet still gives it something new. Fazza didn't just live life, he designed it. Every move he made had intention behind it. Every decision came from a place deeper than fear or pressure. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was trying to express something. Something raw. Something real. Something that couldn't be duplicated. And that's what made him different. People often think creators are loud, always showing, always proving. But Fazza wasn't like that. His strength was quiet. His vision was internal. He didn't need to announce his next move, he just made it. And when he did, it spoke for itself. There were failures, of course. Moments when things didn't go as planned. But Fazza never saw failure the way others did. To him, failure wasn't the end, it was part of creation. You can't create something new without breaking something old. You can't build your own path without stepping away from the safe one. So he embraced it. While others feared mistakes, Fazza learned from them. While others stopped, he adjusted. While others doubted, he continued. Because deep down, he knew something most people ignore: the biggest risk isn't failing, it's living a life that was never truly yours. And Fazza refused to live someone else's life. As time passed, his world expanded. New challenges. New opportunities. New eyes watching him. But no matter how far he went, he never lost that core part of himself, the part that chose creation over imitation. He didn't let success change him. He let it amplify who he already was. There were people who tried to copy him. His style. His mindset. His energy. But they always missed one thing: the essence. Because Fazza wasn't just doing something different, he was thinking differently. And you can't copy a mindset. You can only build your own. That's what separated him. He inspired people, not by telling them what to do, but by showing them what's possible. By living in a way that challenged their limits without saying a word. By proving that you don't have to follow the world, you can create your own version of it. And maybe that's why his story mattered. Not because it was perfect. Not because it was easy. But because it was real. There were nights when even Fazza felt the weight of it all. The loneliness of being different. The pressure of always being one step ahead. The silence that sometimes felt heavier than noise. But he never let it break him. Because he understood something powerful: loneliness isn't always a weakness. Sometimes, it's the price you pay for not settling. And Fazza never settled. He kept moving. Kept building. Kept creating. Not for applause, not for recognition, but because it was who he was. Because stopping would mean becoming like everyone else. And that was something he could never accept. The world eventually caught up, in its own way. People started seeing what he saw. Thinking differently. Questioning more. Creating more. And without realizing it, Fazza had done something bigger than success. He had shifted mindsets. He had shown that you don't need permission to be different. You don't need approval to be original. You don't need to follow, when you're capable of creating. And that's the legacy he built. Not just a life others admired, but a mindset others could feel. Even now, if you look closely, you'll notice something about Fazza. He still walks like he did in the beginning. Calm. Focused. Unbothered by noise. Because no matter how far he goes, he knows one thing will always remain true: he was never meant to follow. He was meant to create. And in a world full of echoes, Fazza became a voice. Not the loudest. but the realist. This channel is all about poetic stories and emotional content inspired by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Fazza, the Crown Prince of Dubai. Here, you will find deep poetry, love stories, and powerful lines reflecting his royal lifestyle, silent strength, and emotional side. Backhand index pointing right. Please like and share and subscribe my channel for more beautiful poetry and poems. Red heart. Thanks for watching my videos.